But absolutely, we're continuing on the authoritarianism conversation, so that seems like a natural conclusion. I know people who work for the forum or landmark, um, or the right, the phrases they seem to have in common. They work very, very hard, very long hours, and that they don't have much going on in their life except for landmark. That a certain kind of fantasy about Landmark that I don't necessarily credit, but which plays around the fringes of my consciousness, gets set off by this fact. It is a fact, and it combines with it. If it is an is effect, it combines with the other things that I seem to have noticed about Landmark, which is that it is very rapidly expanding organization that has very high ambitions in terms of wanting to transform the society or perhaps the world, hopes to be able to end hunger in a certain number of years, and other things that seem plausible from a normal frame of reference, and that it proselytizes very forcefully, very great energy, putting all of those things together. I can get into a way of viewing Landmark, which is, and well, it's a group of people who have some self-involved, very convoluted system of beliefs, which achieves their cause ability by their apparent a possibility of spreading rapidly and growing, and people getting so the last sentence, refrain from faucet convoluted plausibility of a belief system has provided by the apparent ability of Landmark to grow very rapidly. So that's a question of the participant. I got what you're saying now. So that kind of backs up the belief. I don't mind the word enlightenment. I like that word. Other religious movements to grow very rapidly. Can I object to other religious movements as it's not religious? Participant says religious work very well as long as they're other religious movements, as long as they're growing well, seem to be working, and then suddenly, maybe Landmark has peaked and some of the plausibility structures started to break down of the other groups that we saw. We've looked, and I really only the other groups got into trouble and gotten kind of crazy when they stopped, and it started to look like they weren't going to change the world after all, and that system that people had devoted themselves wholeheartedly to for 5 or 10 years or whatever, 15, wasn't really omnipotent and omnipotent, and the whole sort of shared group fantasy started to break apart. Things got kind of sort of crazy. Could you respond to that? First off, it is, it really. I had to restrain myself a lot because consistently it's this business of no yellow in a blue and green world. You said yourself it's hard to find the right word. And now I know everybody's trying to be polite, and I appreciate you being nice about it. But you see, it's not just trying to be polite. It's not just trying to be nice about it. It's a gosh darn lie. And language carried out in lies, even if they're kind of well-meaning lies, lead you to inaccurate conclusions. So if you say, I'm clearly not offended, but what offends me is our willingness to carry on the conversation without getting to the truth of it. The words mean things like they're numbers. If you add numbers together and you get answers. If you add words together, you get answers. And if you add the wrong words together, you get the wrong answers. So I think that a large part of the success of Landmark and not falling into the traps that it's possible to fall into in the arena in which we're functioning is a function of certain distinctions that are not ordinarily made by people and are very, very important distinctions, including word distinctions, including don't use a word when that word misrepresents what you're talking about simply because you don't happen to have the word that represents what you're talking about. Because Like I said, when you add the wrong words up, you get the wrong answers. Just like we add the wrong numbers, you get the wrong answers. Now, Dick, I really don't think there's enough appreciation of that. See, I think there's a very big possibility of missing some of the real power and value in the work that Landmark is doing and in the whole development of it. If you attempt to force it into categories which you bring to try to understand it, because Landmark is really about the very nature of your inquiry. The forum is really aimed at that, and the training is aimed at grasping the categories with which you deal with the world. It's not aimed at what you put into those categories. So if it's got some validity and if it's got some real power, and it clearly does, or at least you have to have some question about whether it does. I mean, you can't dismiss that it readily may be in that area. You can't dismiss that it you can't dismiss it readily. It may be right in that area. So let's go. Let me try to illustrate by both make my point and answer your question. So you assume that the long hours and high commitment of staff members must be brought about by some great vision. I deny that that's true. That's not why I work long hours, and I work real long hours. I'm very committed. See, but I say I'm committed. I say committed. And you and I know the thought that goes through people's mind. Like, he believes in what he's doing. I don't believe in what I'm doing at all. I have absolutely no belief in what I am doing. I know that I already know how it's going to turn out. All right? The way it's going to turn out is the way it's going to turn out, or the way it turns out. It's fait accompli. I mean, there's nothing I can do about the way it's going to turn out. I know exactly how it's going to turn out. It's going to turn out exactly the way it turns out. It's been doing that for eons. So you say, but then, Lee, what's your motive? What the heck are you working all those hours for? I'm not motivated. There isn't any motivated. There's no dang vision motivating me. You know, if I stopped doing it tomorrow, it wouldn't make any dang bit of difference. And if I keep doing it right to the end, it won't make any difference either. The only thing that's going to happen is what happens now. But you know that doesn't fit into our structure, that doesn't fit into our categories. We know dang right well that you don't get up in the morning unless you've got a motive. Well, that's what you know dang right well. Well, that's a great explanation. Man, you can explain people's behavior, but you can't do a dang thing to bring an ounce of satisfaction into people's lives, to bring an ounce of a sense of wholeness and completeness into people's lives. With that theory, no matter how good you get at it, because the theory is essentially a theory of explanation, not a theory of causality. It doesn't cause it doesn't get to the cause of things. So yeah, I'm working my butt off. That making happen what's going to happen. I don't have any vision. I'm not doing this in one sense. I'm not, I don't have any vision. I'm not. I don't, you know, in one sense that I'm totally clear what's going to happen. What's going to happen is what happens. And the other sense, if you asked me to formulate that, I can't do it like that. I don't know what's going to happen in form. So I think that what is really very badly, see, we have a structure in which it's important to know where you're going. And I don't have any idea where I'm going. I don't know where I'm going. I'm not selling some vision and I'm not selling some ideal. I know where I'm coming from. I think that people on staff know where they're coming from. And I think that it's a great excitement to them to discover what takes them day to day, week by week. And it's why we don't have any problem throwing things away. See, we're gonna, in about 3 months, there won't be any est, which was the name before the forum. But then it will have the sands that will cover over whatever est was, and wherever those sands are, something will be built anew. And this is the only organization in which change does not bother anyone. See, if I'm coming from this room, it doesn't matter where I am. I'm coming from the room. Who say, well, where have you been going that don't go that way? Fine. I'm still coming from the room. See, in my life is around where I'm going. And you make the change, then it's upsetting. If it's about where I'm going and you make a change, then it's upsetting. If my life is about where I'm coming from, where I'm starting and the end and going through the process, instead of going through the process to get to the end, but if I start at the end and go, change is no problem. So why do people work long hours? They work long hours because there's work to be done, and doing the work is very satisfying. I didn't say it was easy or pleasant. I said it was satisfying. They work long hours because in that opportunity to experience the opportunity to make a difference, not to make things different. See, but to make a difference, they experience the opportunity of being able to make a contribution, of being able to be useful. And I don't experience that opportunity in a lot of places in the world. Most of what we have a chance to do, it's like burnout. It's interesting. I thought only therapists burned out. And now there's an article today in the Wall Street Journal where managers are burning out. If you can believe it. So like that. And I tell you one thing that burns people out, and it's really interesting thing, Dick, that burns our people out. And we have people who burn out, and you'll like this one that burns out are people as when they think that they got it. The one thing that burns our people out is when they think they got it, and it destroys them. It's amazing. You can watch it happen. And that's happened with a couple people that I've been watching very closely. So it takes a matter of months before it's just going through the motions. It's remarkable. And it happens exactly. It starts to happen at exactly that moment when they figure out they've got it. They've got it made. They got it together. They understand it now. It's no more. It's amazing. And it's so deadly. I mean, really, it actually, it's sad. I mean, it's really sad. It's really, truly sad that they go and they're very successful, when they go on to be very successful because, they've been very well trained. The people I'm thinking about in particular than me, very well they know how to get it done, how to do it, but it never has that quality of making a difference again. It never has that quality of making a difference again. Do they, ask Dick? Do they ever come out of it? Some do. The jury's still out on some. But I think some will, you see. It's very clear to me that everybody will. So I'm not talking in that context, as Landmark graduates don't think in terms of regret. Maybe this time offensive, you're saying, I think that est or the forum, people want to cliff knocking. Ooh, I thought I edited this all. So next question. Let me say it back to you and make sure that I got it. So Dick's saying, okay, I think I understand what you're saying. Let me confirm. So you say the staff won't get crazy if the world isn't somehow transformed from a certain point of view, because they don't have a certain point of view about how the world's going to be transformed. They don't have a belief structure that has to be confirmed. I think that is valid. I think that is the big difference between you and other organizations. The other thing, Dick, is that they don't think that they're good. Therefore, it doesn't just doesn't made they're not made crazy by saying they're bad. See, not I don't think a guest is good. I don't think it's righteous. I don't think people learning about this is a good thing. It's not God's work. God isn't talking to me personally any different than she talks to everybody, you know. There's no great mission or, you know, they there is a great mission, but it's the great mission that everybody's on. That's the great mission. It's not like we have no private access to the mission, no special knowledge about the mission. You know, we got what we got. Like everybody's got what they got. What he's got. Yeah, sorry, they're not silly statements. How they say without meaning, the tautology is a statement without meaning, isn't it so? For the 2 weekends, it's definitional. It depends on your definitions of words. Okay, so like that. So yeah, that's right. What you said, I think, is very true. See, this thing, which is really difficult, and we noticed this in a lot of the work that we're doing in the development around the world, is that people cannot believe that there's something that moves people other than motivation. They cannot, they just no possibility of ontology as something in which is behind it. It's not possible. Therefore, if you see somebody moving by God, they gotta be up to something. If you see somebody moving by God, they gotta be up to something. They're going to be moving towards something. It can't be that they're just moving. The participant asks, doesn't that have to do with the hunger? Doesn't the Hunger Project have a vision? Yeah. So I suggested if you read the source document for the Hunger Project, that you would see that what I've just said is both true and they have a vision, and that vision doesn't preclude what I just said. The Hunger Project is very, very, very kind of, I can't tell you its chance that I do this fast, trying to do this fast, I think he says. It's the whole stories of the Hunger Project mission is to create a context, the end of hunger, or people are fed. To do that only would be kind of being half-assed. If you were therefore you have to face up to creating a goal at the end of hunger, or people are fed, it's the context in which the Hunger Project's job, and therefore in a context of people are fed, which is the expression of people are fed. Therefore, this really speaks a little bit to what you said, and it's so you don't fail in the context. And since that's what is really at the base of it, the participant says you can fail and you can fit. You know, you will fail in the objectives. One hopes not to fail ultimately, but no one will fail in the objectives. That's part of the expression of the context of succeeding. In the context of succeeding, failure is contained. Therefore, failures are not invalidating. Failure doesn't destroy anything. As a matter of fact, failure forwards things. Failure to perform. You can't fail. You can only fail to perform. All right, that's it. The forum, I tested this stuff 19, 20 years ago. Maybe I wasn't clear with you. If it was BS, I wouldn't be talking about it. Yeah, I mean, I've had 19 years to really mull over this and say, is this something that, you know, I'm just making up in my head, or is this something that's like really real? I walk around constantly talking about it. The one thing that will open up hundreds of new worlds for you. It's 2 5-day courses, which are $915 each. No, first course $915 before discount. Second course is $11 to 15 before discount. Nobody wants to conform to anything. I want you to be 10 times more you. I don't need more Lees in the world. I already have one. Or meaning me. not the namely. You're probably thinking you don't talk to me and you don't know what's going on with me and you call me out of nowhere and how could you know what's really going on with me? You probably think I want to change your mind about your life or something. I don't know what you think. Nobody wants you to conform to anything. You probably think it's a lot of your time to invest 5 days of your time, Friday to Tuesday on Zoom. Monday's the day off. So it's really 4 days. You probably think it's a lot of money. It's 1830 before discounts, two courses, 915, and it's $200 down payment. And the course may be in the near future actually starts it starts the second that you put the down payment down. So what do you want for yourself in your life, your community, your family, your nation, your world? You probably think, oh, well, that sounds great. I'll do it someday or one day. I say that that's not empowering for you and your people. And it's a bit dismaying, a bit uncomfortable. It's not meant to be a pleasant conversation. It's meant to literally break open like a possibility. In writing this, I'm dealing with the impact of having not shared with you more fully. I'm present, having that was selfish. I didn't know what you'd say. Yeah, I mean, look, people react to this stuff like I'm attacking them, and it's like, bro, I'm looking out for you. Everything that you say that you want is possible out of your participation in this, and that's it. You could take it or leave it. It's just, it takes something. Look, you got nothing to lose by calling up your local Landmark Forum office. Just Google or Yahoo or Bing or whatever, search up Landmark Worldwide. There's going to be a phone number there. I think there's an 800 number on the website. I don't know, but yeah, just call them and leave them a message and ask them, what am I going to get out of this thing? Why would I do this thing? And let have a conversation with them, because it's not something that I can just tell you and you'll get it. It's a conversation. It has to have a back and forth, yeah, you telling me what you want, because it's customizable. So if I tell you, oh, you can make more money doing this, and you're like, I don't want more money, it's like, whatever, you know what I mean? Um, in any event, it's worth every penny, worth every minute. It's and you have nothing to lose by calling them and finding out what you would get out of it being customized. I think I wanted the woman of my dreams, and I wanted to like make a difference in my company. And my friend told me about it, and I was upset with him. I'm like, dude, why did you tell me that? That's up my mind, bro. Like, it was like really rude what you were saying to me, but it wasn't rude. It was him being straight and honest with me, and I took it as rude because it felt like an attack on me. But I saw how real it was. I saw that it really cut to the heart of my soul, and I don't believe that people share things with other people. I think people inherently have good intentions. So if someone shared something with me, I can choose to completely ignore it or to look into it further. I mean, nothing's going to hurt me by looking into it further. So I just registered on the website, and I registered the next day, because this person that had shared it with me was an important person to me, that we worked really, really great teams together. We worked for years together. And yeah, I mean, again, it's not a pleasant conversation. I mean, like, if I could have one non-pleasant conversation and ultimately move my life forward 100 steps, like, why would I not want to do that? Like, take one step back and then 100 steps forward? It's like it's just very seems like a simple answer to me. Um, and yeah, it could be seen as uncomfortable to people, but it is literally a ruthless compassion. And yeah, I only want what's best for you. I'm I don't know. It's selfish in this, in the sense that my friends or family member have come back to me and said, Lee, I understand why you wanted me to do this. I get it now, you know, and then I see they have challenges in their life and they're able to navigate them to the point where they want it. Um, yeah, and they seem to be having success in their life. And then I have other friends and family members that call me that are, most people are so distracted by things that they don't really know what they want. And that's all I want to know. I want to know what you want. So drop it in the comments or call me directly or whatever. But that's all I want to know. I just want to know what you want. And since it's customized, I know, I not pretty much, I do guarantee that you'll get what you want out of it. You can't have everything, but you can have everything that you want. So, and yeah, I would say I would listen to you and find out the things that you want and make sure that I understand what you want and then let you know that this is an access to be able to, it's not an access to be able to get the things that you want, it's an access to insights, your insights. It's not insights that I want you to get. It's, I say something and you have an insight, and that insights provides personal answers to you, which is how it's customized. So, in any event, trust you're doing well. We'll be out once a month, and peace and love. Bye bye.